What is up, everybody? We are back on the Lasagna show here tonight after a Yankees W, which is, something we did see 2 out of 3 times against the Mets. Gotta say, I know it's the Ranger series, but I didn't have any shows during the weekend. I had to bring it up once or twice, maybe a few times before we're done. You know, got a new little feature here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but your comments will show up on the screen during the live. So nice little feature there. We're still tinkering with things here. The Lasagna show is ever so evolving. So we are going to keep tinkering with things and making it fun and, want to interact with everybody as much as possible. So little curveball there for you. But speaking of pitching, Will Warren, holy shit. I think Will Warren has officially put himself front and center as one of the nastiest pitchers, not only in the American League, but in baseball, especially starting pitchers. If you look at some of the metrics, if you look at some of the, pitch shape, pitch movement type of stuff that measures that kind of thing, he's up there with some of the best in the game. He looked fantastic today, and he's doing it with a fastball that's 92 to 94, sometimes 95. You don't see the 95 that often. But his stuff is just, it's great. And we saw it on full display today. I think that's 3 straight really solid starts. So, he had a good start against the A's. Everyone's like, it's the A's, whatever. Had a good start against the Mariners. Everyone's like, okay, 2 starts against the West. 3 straight good starts. Okay, now we're starting to build some momentum here. Now our imaginations are kind of running wild on the guy. You see how good the stuff is, and you're like, damn, how can he be in the playoffs? How can he be in a potential playoff rotation? Can he continue to do this against good teams? Is this a blip in the radar? Is this what we can expect going forward? A lot of expectations, including my own, for Will Warren, have changed and are changing. I think a lot of people are coming around to him. And how can you not, after the way his stuff looked today and how he's looked in his last 3 starts? Looking at some of the pitch breakdown here, a lot of people see Will Warren and like, oh, he's throwing a bunch of junk. His fastball's not that good. It's all relying on the off-speed stuff and secondary stuff. But if you look at the pitch breakdown from today, he was 32% four-seam fastball, and that was the highest percentage of any of his pitches today. So, and it averaged 93 miles per hour. So this is a situation where we think of Will Warren as a breaking ball guy, changeup guy, secondary stuff, little crafty movement kind of thing. He's going right at guys with the four-seamer today, 32%. And like I said, it's not overpowering. Second most used pitch was the sinker, 28%, 93 miles an hour. He's not throwing gas up there. He's hitting his spots. He's keeping the ball down. And with that type of velocity, you have to do that. But it's very encouraging to see. Third most used pitch was the sweeper at 23%. So that was his first of the group of pitches he was throwing. The first time you see secondary stuff is the sweeper, and it was his third most used pitch for the night. So this is a guy that's going four-seam sinker, attacking hitters, and you love to see it. He believes in his stuff now. You can see it in his confidence. You can see in the way he's carrying himself. When you're watching a pitcher, you can tell by the expression, the body language, but his motion, his mechanics, they're easy, they're free flowing. He's coming set, lifts the leg, drives down the hill, boom. Release point is right where you want it. It's on the money. It looks easy. It looks free. He's not rushing. He's not up there overthinking. He's not up there racking his brain trying to overthink a pitch sequence or try to figure out a way to get the guy out. He knows what he's doing. He understands his game plan. He's got a great game plan with the catcher, Austin Wells, and he's out there executing today. Give me the ball. You see him shake a couple times, then he'd nod his head. Boom. Motion starts, free and easy, bang, hitting the spots, throwing nasty shit all night. And he had a career high 10 strikeouts. So you look at his last 3 starts, he's progressively striking out more and more. So against the A's, he had 7. He went 7 innings and had 7 Ks. Against the Mariners, 5 innings, he had 9 Ks. Tonight against the Rangers, 5 2/3, 10 Ks. The stuff plays. It's high. It's top shelf. It's high quality. And I think he now, young guy in the bigs, especially pitching wise, you see how good the hitters are. And, the thing that's going through his head is my stuff good enough? Do I belong here? You heard some of his quotes before the season where he said, I want my teammates to feel like when I'm on the hill, we have a great chance to win. I want to be that guy. Like, oh, my teammates believe in me. They have confidence in me. Like, oh, we're going to win today when Will Warren's pitching. And I think he's putting himself right in that conversation. You cannot deny the fact that, now we're looking forward to these Will Warren starts. Like, okay, what do you got for me this time? Last 3 were dominant. Is he going to strike out 12 the next time? I mean, you never know. So it's exciting. It's really exciting because, he had a rough season last year. A lot of people were out on him. At times I was like, I don't know about Will Warren, man. I don't know. So, he's proven a lot of us wrong, and it's a great thing to see because this is what we need in a year where you don't have Garrett Cole, where you don't have Luis Hill. Luis Hill will be back soon, but I mean, you have to tread water until you can get him back. And Will Warren has been more than enough of an option every 5th day to give his team, to give his ball club a chance to win. And that's all you can ask for. So he's going above and beyond that. He's not just going 5 or 6 innings, 3 runs or less. Like last several starts, he's 2 runs or less or giving up nothing. So this is very encouraging stuff to see from him, and we love to we're enjoying it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching him pitch today, and I can't wait till his next start. He's must-watch television for me as a pitching nerd, not just a regular nerd. We all know regular nerd guy, but pitching nerd definitely enjoys that kind of stuff. Real quick, guys, if you are watching on Twitter, please go to my Twitter page, click the blue link in my bio, find the Lasagna Show on YouTube, like this video, and hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to having you guys in here chatting, talking ball the rest of the season. It's going to be a good time. What is up, Miller? That's my guy in there. Ray C. Would Will have been as effective against a better hitting team? Not trying to hate. I think this stuff plays against any caliber team. I mean, a nasty breaking ball down and away, a lot of guys are going to chase that. A 4-seam fastball that's got a good run, guys are going to swing at that. I mean, he's got a good changeup. He's got a good sinker. The stuff plays against anybody. He's just got to locate. That's what it comes down to. Got to hit your spots, especially when his 4-seam is averaging 93. You can't leave that middle of the zone in this league, even if it does have some extra life. Second or third time through the order, guys are going to catch up to that and they're going to smoke it. So he's got to keep locating, and he's been doing that. So if he can do that against good teams, I mean, I'm all for it. Capital Management, Lasagna Legend, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Future Yanks says, gave a casual sub. You are the man. Thanks for being in here, my guy. John says he has pretty good extension, so fastball plays up. That's a good point. The further you can get down that hill and reach as far as you can and pull those seams down on that 4-seamer, the more ride and carry you're going to get to the strike zone. Miller says it's Ian Hamilton cooked, and Brad Jewett says Hamilton is definitely concerned. Yeah, I mean, it's irritating the way he finished the game there because you don't want Warren. You don't want Weaver to have to come into that game. So you burned. It was only an out. He only had to get 1 out. He only threw a couple pitches. He threw 2 pitches, so it's not a big deal. But the time spent in the bullpen, all the throws he's doing down there, that counts towards your throwing day too. So those aren't just forget about it throws. The bullpen work and the warm up before you come in the game counts too. So I would expect him to be available tomorrow. But if he pitches tomorrow, he might not be available for the 3rd game. So. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully the Yankees win plenty and by a lot of runs, and we don't need to see him tomorrow or the next day. But I would fully expect him to be available tomorrow. Obviously, he didn't do much today, but still, those throws add up. Well, when you're thinking total volume of throws for a day, obviously you play catch before the game. You work on some things. You throw, warming up with the bullpen, whatever. Gets out to the mound. He's got warm-up pitches off the mound, and he throws 2 pitches. So that adds up. So, when they're watching his bullets for the season, it's kind of irritating that he had to get back up, re-warm up, come into the game, do all that because Ian Hamilton couldn't secure shit. So Ian Hamilton's ERA is up to 5.652. Not great. His velo has not been what we want from him. He's striking out more than the batter per inning. He's thrown 4.1 innings and has 19 strikeouts. So that's a positive sign from him. 1.19 whip, not great, but it's not horrible. It's just he looks a little hittable. He definitely looks hittable. Too many pitches in the middle of the strike zone. And, he's not throwing. There were times when I think, I don't know, last season maybe, 97, 98 from the guy. He was throwing hard. Plus, he had that little changeup thing that he throws. So it's a concern for sure. He's going to need to prove himself in some mop up here soon, and build some confidence there, because right now he should not be considered for close games at all right now. He's just not there. Stuff is not playing. I don't know how it grades out. I got to look it up, but it doesn't look like his stuff is as good as it was last season when he was fully healthy. So, maybe it's a build-up thing. Maybe he'll start to find it once the weather gets better, but it's a concern for now. Let's see. Future says T-Rent is back. He absolutely is. That is my dude. I'm actually wearing the T-Rent jersey right now. I can't spin around for you, but I just need you to believe me. Dylan says, can't wait for Jake Cousins to come back. This bullpen is going to be set up real well, especially with Devin looking good now. I agree 100%. It sucks that Jake Cousins had the setback with the pec muscle, little pec strain. So sometimes that can leak into the shoulder. A lot of stuff's connected in that region. So it's a concern, especially with a guy that kind of has a lower sidearm type of arm angle. So we'll see how the pec heals and see how quickly he can get back to, rehabbing and getting back and being 100%. But yeah, it would be great to have Cousins back. Williams is looking good. So definitely a lot to look forward there. Logan says, let's see the drink. No drink at the moment, my guy. Unfortunately, I'm going to save the cold ones for the weekend. Let's see. Future says Ian is a command issue. If I'm be honest, yeah, it definitely has something to do with it. His stuff is not as good as it was last year, though. So you put those two together, and it's a recipe for disaster. Jones says Hamilton might get traded when Cousins is ready, plus Beater. I wouldn't hate it. Beater, I'm excited for him. I know he can throw up to 96. He's got a good curveball. Definitely excited for that. Cousins, I'm excited for him as well. Brad says Hamilton is just not trusting his mechanics. He seems to be worried about injury. I don't know what it is, but they need to figure it out before they put him in games that mean something, because he cannot be counting on right now. Angry Yankees fan says Hamilton owes Weaver dinner for saving his ass. Yeah, he does. Sucks, man. Didn't want Weaver to have to come into that game, and Aaron Boone didn't want to do it. But I can appreciate the sense of urgency by bringing in Weaver to make sure that thing gets finished, because you don't want to let Hamilton keep fucking around in there, and all of a sudden a game that you should have won comfortably ends up being a loss. So it is what it is. Future says, in fairness, I'd be pissed if you weren't wearing it. I got to be on brand a little bit here. And Brad's mad at me because I'm not drinking a Coors Light right now, so I'm kind of failing there. But the T-Rent jersey is on. You just got to believe me. So I'm not going to spin around. I can't do it. Ray C, I think Williams got a little lucky today. Looked like he threw some 93-mile-an-hour meatballs down the middle, including the double. Yeah, he didn't look great. It was messy. There were some pass balls. I wasn't watching it super closely, but, there were some 3-2 counts. There was some not an ideal, super clean kind of outing from Devin Williams. But it's another scoreless inning, so he's doing his thing, and it's encouraging. I would keep him there. Do not put him back into the closer's role. Do not take Weaver out of the closer's role. Leave them both where they are. Let them have success. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let it roll throughout the season. Just keep going with what works. Brad says I had all the cores over the weekend. Just one day. It was Sunday. Had to finish the Subway series on a heater. Bernard says great win. Absolutely. Future says, oh, I believe you. You better, pal. John, always a great night when the Yankees win. Absolutely. Ray C says, yeah, well said. The end of results matters. Yes, sir, man. Just stack up those easy innings, man. Chris, what is up, Chris? Luke Weaver deserves to play in the 2025 MLB All-Star game. He sure as hell does, pal. Bernard says, Will Warren has bloomed in front of our eyes. Sad part is, without the injuries, he gets no chance. It's very true. The way this rotation was projected before the season, it was going to be Cole, Fried, Rodon, Luis Hill, and probably Stroman. Ugh, forgot about him, huh? I know. I'm giving you all PTSD. Don't don't blame me for it. We're just talking projections here. I'm not trying to scare you. Yeah, but Will Warren got an opportunity. He's taking advantage of it and doing the most with it. So I love to see it. A guy you would love to see do the same thing as Peraza at third base right now. He's getting an opportunity. He's there consistently and he's not hitting. So it's like, yeah, you can play great defense, but where is the hitting? Like, you're getting the run now that you want, and you're just not seeing it. All right, so here we go. Yankees need more high velo relievers. You are damn right. You're preaching to the choir here, pal. I'm seeing Lasagna coming back throwing absolute cheddar, and we need more guys who can do that, because a hard fastball is always hard to hit. In a short series with guys who throw a lot of junk, hitters, especially really good hitters, will start picking up spin. They'll start picking up arm angle. They'll start picking up pitch sequencing in certain patterns, in certain situations, in certain counts. A slider is a slider is a slider. A changeup is a changeup is a changeup. When you start picking up on that stuff, you're not as scared of it. We kind of saw that with Luke Weaver towards the end of the postseason with throwing all those damn changeups. But a 98 to 100 mile an hour fastball is always fucking hard to hit. So it's like, come in, have a dude blowing fucking cheese through there, and it's going to be a good time, Future says, why bring up Stroman? I gotta keep you on your toes, right? You didn't wake up today expecting me to talk about Marcus Stroman, so I gotta keep you on your toes. Josh says, what a tremendous past 3 games for Will Warren. He will have his ups and downs, but will get better. Yeah, I mean, he's on an upper right now. These last 3 starts have been fantastic. He looks confident. He looks poised. He's executing his pitches. His mechanics looks fluid and easy and free. He belongs in the bigs. I think he believes it now. And the sky's the limit. I mean, the stuff is big time. And I think he's in his mid-20s. But there is a possibility he can get a little stronger and add a few ticks to that fastball. Maybe he can throw 95 at times. He's not throwing that all game. But maybe with a couple pretty strong off-season programs, he can get up to that 95, 96 consistently. You never know. Sometimes it happens. I think Charlie Morton is a guy who was throwing harder towards the end of his career than he was, when he was on the Pirates. So maybe a situation like that. John says, did I miss it in the past with a DFA Stroman? No, they did not. He is dealing with the knee situation again. I think he had a setback, quote unquote setback, whatever. I don't know what you want to believe. But yeah, he probably won't be back for a while. They're gonna squeeze him in there somewhere because they're paying him, and he's gonna throw a tantrum if he's healthy and he's not pitching. But we'll see what happens. If they they tried to make him a reliever instead. I don't know what they'll do with Stroman. We all know before the season he said he wanted to be a starter. So I don't know. It is what it is. But if there's good pitchers in the rotation that are doing well, there's no way in hell you need to insert Stroman into that mix. You just don't. I would much rather prefer to keep seeing Yarbrough than to see Stroman ever again. Yarbrough's been pretty solid. I know he throws like 84 miles an hour, but the guy can execute his pitches. He pitches below hitting speed. You either want to be above hitting speed, throw gas, or you want to be below hitting speed, throw soft. When you're at hitting speed, which Stroman is, you get fucking punished, and we've seen that often. Future says, my bingo card is cooked. My apologies. I hope the PTSD did not trigger you right now. I need you to sleep good tonight. Angry Yankees fan, where's Stroman? He is on a boat somewhere fishing. I have no idea. Ness says, Warren, the Timu, Michael King. Good for him. Hey, I mean, the Timu label might come off. If he keeps pitching like this, I mean, he could probably do a side-by-side right now of the last couple starts and be like, damn, okay, they're pretty damn close. Chris says, what is the bigger need, third base or starting pitching? I'd say third base because Luis Hill's coming back and the rotation has settled down quite a bit. The last 12 starts for this rotation, the starters are 4-0 with a 2.66 ERA, and the team has an 8-4 record. So this starting rotation went from being a concern to strength of this team right now. Obviously, we all know what the offensive numbers look like right now. They look really good. But this starting rotation has really held up its end of the bargain recently, and they look great. So this is a pretty balanced team right now. I mean, the bullpen's been good, better of late. I wouldn't say good, but they've been better of late. Rotation's really settling down. The offense is one of the best in the league. So you put all those things together, good things are going to happen. Gina says setback. I think it's more like shut up and sit down. It could be. It could be a phantom IL. I know if he reaches a certain innings threshold for the season, he's due more money or something like that. I gotta look at the contract, but yeah, it might be one of those. Have a seat, accept your paycheck, and get out of the way. So we'll see how long that goes. Ness says, how long will they let Volpe hit fifth? Why keep doing it for the kid? Let him hit seventh and play defense. I agree. They're going off of the, the Mets had Peterson on the hill, lefty, for that last game. And then today, Patrick Corbin was on the hill, another lefty. So obviously they like something about Volpe hitting fifth against lefties. But it hasn't worked out recently. He had that blooper today, which was pretty clutch, but the at-bats just haven't been what you want from him. Every time they try to insert him in the middle of the lineup, it just doesn't work out right. I would leave him at the bottom of the lineup, low leverage. Let him do his thing down there, get comfortable, be the opposite field type inside-out swing hitter we know he can be, where he has the most success, and leave him alone. But the way analytics is these days, and the way Boone and the Yankees put these lineups together, it's all based on prior history and splits and all this different stuff. So it's always going to be a merry-go-round. But I agree. Let Volpe settle down, put him at the bottom of the order, low leverage, and try to figure it out. Future says, I'm going to be honest, I feel like Yankees should go get a starting pitcher over at third baseman. We'll see. I think the pitching depth is pretty good right now, especially when Heel comes back and you got Beater coming back. So, there's some options there. We could always bring Cookie Carrasco back. He's down there in AAA. If you want some pitching depth, Cookie is around. So don't rule that out. John, John says, do you think the Yankees will acquire anyone? If so, who do you want? I don't know who the hell they're going to acquire. It's too early. We don't know who's going to be available. We don't know which of these teams are going to tap out and put guys out in the market too soon. I think there's a guy in Colorado that throws like 100. I'd be interested in him. I forget his name. But there's a few guys out there that might be available. So it just depends on how these things play out, because the extended wild card now has more teams thinking they're in it, especially at the deadline. They could possibly make a run and make a playoff run, whatever. So you might be looking at plucking from some of the really, really bad teams like the Rockies or Pirates or something like that. But too early to tell. But I would prioritize flame-throwing bullpen guys. Maybe add some starting pitching depth and a third baseman. So we'll see how things play out. I don't think Cashman wants to move any prospects, and any prospects worth keeping are going to be going anywhere. So might be one of those stand pat. You got Jazz coming back, Stanton, Cousins, Luis Hill. So there's reinforcements coming back, and they don't really have to overextend themselves and trade some of the pieces they really like. So it might be another underwhelming type deadline, and you just cross your fingers and hope the American League is bad enough to where we can get back to the ALCS, win it, and get back to the World Series. So that'll be interesting to watch. DK Ghost says, what's going on, bro? Love the nightly recaps on the content on Twitter. Much love. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you for finding the YouTube channel. This has been this is the start of week 4, I believe. So we're a little less than a month in. The response from all you guys has been fantastic. I've been enjoying doing it. I enjoy having you guys here talking baseball. It makes it really fun. Not only for me, but I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So for those of you who are watching on Twitter, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, go to my Twitter page, click the link in my bio. You will find the Lasagna page there. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I hope to have you guys here all season long. Today we got the chat on the screen. I don't know if you could read that. I'm just tinkering with things. The Lasagna show is very early, so we are, messing with things and trying to make this better and better as we go forward to make it more interactive and more fun. Visually appealing, I guess you could say. There's some stuff in the works, so we'll see how things play out. But for now, we're here just talking ball, having a good time, and we're going to do it for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. So love to have you guys here. Ness says, DJ looking like he on that LeBron 2.0, looking more athletic and quick bat. What's the cortisone shots? B complex. They got some good stuff going into DJ, man. I'm gonna chalk it up to this. You're gonna think I'm crazy. I know you already think I'm crazy, but you're gonna think I'm extra crazy now. The pants down, no high socks. The pants down has given him all his powers back. There's no science behind it. There's no baseball savant page that will tell you about it. There's no Fangraphs metric that's going to explain this to you. But the pants down has reignited DJ LeMahieu. It's almost like he ate a Blue Chew, and he's fired up and ready to go. So we're here for it. We're going to enjoy it. And that's all I could say. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know what the hell is going on. He looks healthy. He looks like he's, his feet aren't bucking him. His lower half seems like it's doing all right for now. He did punch a bunch of ground balls to the ground today. So, back to DJ the ground out. But he does look better. He looks, a little bit more lively. He looks like he's got, I don't know, more energy, more confidence, whatever. I said it on Twitter. If he can just smack a few singles and not be an automatic out, that'll be an absolute miracle. Just don't be a double play guy. Don't clog up the bases. Don't keep beating ground balls into the ground. Just flip a few singles out there and we'll take it. That home run he hit the other day, holy shit, he came around first base so fired up. I was like, they definitely injected him with some good shit, man. He's got some fucking cattle steroids pumping through his veins right now. This guy is testosterone is exploding out of his fucking pores. But it's great to see. If he's going to hit homers, not only singles, but homers, holy shit. I might have to bite my tongue extra hard. Paul Goldfish and DJ in the same season. It's a good problem to have if I'm biting my tongue on guys like that. So we'll keep letting it play it out. Action VJ says the Orioles need to tap out. A little early still, but we'll see. They're getting Grayson Rodriguez back and Bradish back. Eflin's back, so they might have a run left in them. Future says Colorado DJ is back. Like I told you, I don't know. It's too early. Today looked like a broken down, hurt DJ. So those ground balls got to stop. Ness is laughing. You might be on some on that pregame Blue Chew the chick. I'm telling you, man. He's Papa Blue Chew, and he's out there going crazy. So fired up. Love to see it. Wild software update. From Future Action V just says long pants LeMahieu is a legend. He's back. The long pants make him look like he's 7'4" for some reason. I know he's a tall guy as it is, but the pants down makes him look like he's a fucking power forward or something. It's crazy. But we will take it and we will run with it. He was going to keep hitting the ball. Ben Rice, holy shit. Ben Rice looks fantastic. He's kind of like Warren, he looks confident in the box. He looks like he understands his strike zone. He understands pitches he's waiting to do damage on. He understands not chasing in certain counts, situational hitting. I think he had 2 RBIs today. Yes, he did. So 2 of the 5 runs were driven in by Rice. Obviously, Aaron Judge did Aaron Judge type things. He's hitting 403 with a 1253 OPS. Aaron Judge is a cyborg. Just save a little bit of this for the playoffs. I'm begging you, please, for the love of Christ. But Ben Rice, man, this could be the homegrown, middle of the order, power hitting lefty we've wanted for so long. With the Rizzos of the world flaming out and Gallo not being great, and the legend Franchi Cordero. Not sure if you expected to hear that name today either. So. We're just going to run down the list of former Yankee legends who batted left-handed. Jake Bauers, Willie Calhoun, who bangs. But Ben Rice might be that guy, man. He's 25, 26. I think he's 26. And he's coming into his own. The OPS is still over 900. He's got double-digit homers. He's coming up on 150 at-bats, still with a 900 OPS. So, obviously, there's going to be some sort of regression in there. We don't expect him to, I think he's on pace for like 34 or 35 home runs for the season. I mean, if he does that, holy shit, it's incredible. He just set the bar incredibly high for where we expect him to be for his career. I think he'll end up around 25, 28-ish homers. The short porch helps. But I think the OPS being over 900 is fantastic. He just looks confident. He looks poised. He looks like he belongs there. He's going to get opportunity. It just depends on what's going to happen when Stanton comes back. That's going to be something, I have no answer for that. I have no idea how they're going to play that. They got to play Stanton, but they got to play Rice too, because he's been one of their better producers there at the plate. So going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Bernard says Rizzo is ready to come back. You sent me that video the other day. Oh man, no, he can go play for the Savannah Bananas and do the whole Italian thing. That's his brand. Ness says, your thoughts on Sid the Martian versus a lefty? I think he should play. It's tough, man, because Trent Grisham played and he got 2 hits and 4 at bats. So it's like, he's still got a 960 OPS. So it's going to be a merry-go-round in the outfield until someone falls off and becomes the backup. I think it'll probably end up being T-Rant because Dominguez has to play. He should be getting Anthony Volpe type run. But, you got 4 outfielders who are all producing. Cody Bellinger looks fantastic. You heard it here first during the struggles. I said Cody Bellinger's going to hit. Don't be worried about him. He's going to hit. Just trust me on this one. I know I let you down with Paul Goldfish in the offseason. I know I let you down. I ate it. I took it in the chin. I accepted my L. His forms are humongous. I should have never doubted those forms. All right, I'm on the record. I can admit when I'm wrong. It happens all the time. You're going to talk baseball every day. You're going to be wrong about a lot of shit. So that's what it is. But Cody Bellinger, I hit on that one. The fucker is hitting, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and it's making this outfield rotation even more tricky to find playing time for these guys. Obviously, right now, the weakest link of the four is going to be Dominguez when he faces a lefty, but he needs to face lefties more to get better at hitting them. So it is what it is. I expect to see Dominguez in there tomorrow. The rotation is going to keep happening. They're going to have to pick out of a damn hat to see who's going to play. For the most part during whatever week. I don't know how they decide this shit. Probably the analytics and metrics and splits and all that kind of stuff. But I would love to see Dominguez getting more run. I want to see it. I want to see him get Volpe type run because he's an impact player, and I think he's not as good obviously from the right side as he is the left side, but he's got to bat more from the right side to get better at it. So it's a kind of a catch-22 there. Luis Heel on a hill says, Johnny, what is up, man? Thank you for being in here. Jacob says, what's up, Johnny? How you, buddy? Hanging in there, man. Always much better out there. Yankee win. Love to have you in here. Bernard says Riz was hitting the ball great. Yeah, I can go hit in the same cage he was with the same guy throwing meatballs down the plate. I can look great too. Doesn't mean I get major league pitching. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing around. Jeez. Not saying I'm as good as Anthony Rizzo. Let's relax. Gosh. Everyone's a critic. Ness says Ben Barrels is what I call him. I like it. Along with Trent Griffey Jr. We got some great nicknames coming in here. This is the beauty of the chat right here. Ben Barrels has just been born. So I hope if anyone else is calling him Ben Barrels, it came from Ness_TBG on my YouTube channel. All right. Speaking of the YouTube channel, if you're watching on Twitter, go to my Twitter page, click the blue link in the bio, subscribe to the Lasagna Show, like this video, and let's have some fun this year. It's going to be a good time. New Yankee Dirtbag, what is up, man? Best thing about Johnny is he breaks down legit aspects of the game. You can tell he played and understands the intricacies. He's not just some dude who goes to games and takes selfie videos of himself. I appreciate that a ton, man. I played for a million years. My favorite part about baseball is the intricacies in the game. I like pitch sequencing. I like reading a swing, and choosing your next pitch based on that swing. I like different counts and different hitters, and attacking a starting pitcher, attacking the same hitter, 3 times in one game as you make your way through the lineup several times over, and having to pitch him differently, starting with a breaking ball, starting with the heater one, finish him up in the zone with the heater, finish him down with a breaking ball. Just the cat and mouse game. It's just my absolute favorite part. And if I'm not over here saying I'm the hottest shit ever when it comes to foreign baseball players, but I just like to bring up certain stuff that I noticed that I think are interesting. And if you guys enjoy it, I absolutely love that. And that's what makes this fun. I enjoy reading your guys' comments because there's shit I don't catch a lot of the times, and you guys do. Sometimes I might see something that people aren't talking about a lot. So it's a give and take, and we're over here having some fun just talking ball. So it makes it really fun. Imagine going to the game like some of these guys just filming every pitch of the game so you post it on the internet. Yeah, I mean, it's a generational thing. You can tell he knows and enjoys the game. I appreciate it so much, man. I really do. I haven't been in many baseball games this season in person, so I'm really, really looking forward to the Yankees coming to Anaheim next week. I'll be there for all 3, and I'm just going to be sitting there soaking it all up, drinking the Coors Light. So it's going to be a good time. John Falsetta says, Greg Bird. Ben Rice feels like the redo of Greg Bird, but the right way. It feels like this one's going to pan out. So, Greg Bird was a guy we all had some hope for, and it didn't pan out. So that was unfortunate. But, he's been reincarnated in Ben Rice. So it's going to be a good time. Ian says, yo, what is up, man? Ian Hamilton disappointed a fellow Ian. Yeah, he did. He hasn't been good lately. They gotta keep finding spots for him to figure it out, because when he's right, he's a good option out of there. I think he's got good stuff. His velo's a little bit down, but the stuff, that little, I don't know, what does Jeff Nelson keep calling that pitch? The Slombio or whatever. It's a good pitch. He just needs to locate it better. So you keep finding, finding spots to put these guys. The 5-0 late in the game with a 5-0 lead, you don't expect him to shoot and stuff like that and have to bring in their closer. So that was unfortunate. Ian says I think he will get back to where he was. He just got to let him run. Yeah, I think he's got to figure it out. He's got to get on the hill and get in there and battle and figure that shit out. I would love to see his velocity tick up a few more miles per hour there. That'd definitely be encouraging. And when you're throwing harder, it gives you more spin and it gives you more break and more, more life to the rest of your pitches. Your off-speed stuff, your changeup, your sinker, whatever the hell he throws, it just gives everything more life. So I'd love to see that. Johnson missed a lot of the game. Did Warren throw the sinker a bunch? What pitches was he getting whiffs on? You know what? You say that and you would think, oh, breaking ball, changeup, all the junk. He was 32% four-seam fastball, so he was, was averaging 93. So he's going right at guys with his 93-mile-an-hour heater. Like someone mentioned in the chat before, he gets great extension. So there's some late life on the heater there. It carries through the strike zone. It's not like a dying duck when the fastball is reaching the plate and it's kind of dipping. That thing is carrying through the catcher. It's got great spin. So even though it's 93 miles an hour, it might play up to maybe like 95, 96 because of the late life on it. So that's great. And his second most used pitch was 28%. It was the sinker, which was also at 93 miles an hour. So top two pitches were four-seam sinker for a guy that we kind of think of as a secondary stuff guy. So very encouraging there. And his third most used pitch was the sweeper at 23%. He got some nasty swing and miss on that thing today too. I think Adolis Garcia whiffed and missed it by like 2 feet. It was absolutely disgusting on one of those strikeouts. So just pure raw stuff was fantastic. And if you have a chance to go back and watch some of the highlights, the stuff was top shelf. He looked calm. He looked composed. He looked like he belonged there. He looked confident. The mechanics were free and easy. It was just lift the leg, go. So very encouraging. Third straight great start for Will Warren, and he's going to keep building on that. It's a long season though. It's only May, so it's going to be ups and downs. There might be a dead period with his arm, might get a little tired. I think the most he's thrown in the minors was like 130, probably around 130 innings. So when he starts to get around there, they're going to start to maybe reel him back a little bit or maybe skip a start or two to keep his workload down. But, for now, we're enjoying it. We want to keep seeing it. And hopefully he can be a factor late in the season when he reaches somewhat of an innings limit. Ness_TBG says, Benny Barrels. Hey, thanks, Lasagna. You noticed Vivas could swing down. Looks like someone got to him and told him he's 5'8" to concentrate on hitting more line drives and getting on base. I didn't notice that, but it would be, encouraging to see him cut that swing down because, he swings like he's at the park playing wiffle ball with his friends or something. Like the guy's trying to hit everything 900 feet. And it's like, shorten up a little bit, make contact, put the ball in play, and good things will happen. You don't have to wave at everything so damn hard, but it's the evolution of a young player. We see a lot of guys come up and do that. There's a lot of swing and miss. So if he can, and he was kind of projected as a contact guy out of the minors, right? I think someone mentioned that last week. So we'd love to see him become more of that and be more of a. You don't even have to be a threat up there, but just be a competent hitter. You don't have to wave at everything and strike out all the time. Just put the ball in play, smack the ball around, and that'd be nice to see. Ian says Warren was doubting fastball tonight. Yes, when he can if he can locate consistently with his stuff and how much everything runs and sinks and curves and all this crazy shit it does, it'd be very, very good for him. Brad says I just saw some of the video of Hamilton. He seems like driving with his legs. I got to look at it more closely, but the velocity is not quite there, and the secondary stuff he's missing middle there. So definitely not ideal. Bernard says Yankees record better than the Mets. The Mets dropped behind Philly in their own division. We broke them. Quite the statement on May 20th. That Subway Series was intense, man. Cody Bellinger earned his pinstripes with the homer against Canning. He had the grand slam on Sunday. The pitching looked pretty solid. All things considered, it was great for us. Loaizaga coming in, throwing 97, 98 mile an hour, running, sinking fastballs. That was fantastic. So good to see. So a lot of good things to take away from that series. And the one we lost, the game we lost, it was very winnable as well. Some preventable mistakes, but yeah, I look forward to when the Yankees play them in Queens. It'll be a fun series as well. And when a regular season game in May can feel bigger than just a regular game, it's always more fun. It gives you some urgency. Um, it feels a little different. A lot of people that were there said it was a somewhat of a playoff atmosphere, so that's awesome to see. And I could feel it through the TV. The crowd sounded crazy. Every pitch was important, so it makes the regular season more fun when you got must watch important games like that. So look forward to more of those. Soto was loving Vivas, almost kissed him several times. Hey yo, the Martian coming in here with a little bit of romance. Gotta say, if that's going to get Soto shuffling again and put a smile on his face, that might be the ticket. We can, I will gladly let Vivas go to the Mets as long as they give us, I don't know, Stanek, because he was throwing 101. I'll take it. Nest TBG says Warren did look like he took his pregame blue chew. Ball was moving like crazy. He was going right about it. I think the blue chew was reserved for DJ LeGround out. Got to reinvigorate some of that libido in there. You know what I'm saying? This is getting a little. We go from Vivas kissing Soto to talking about blue chews and libido. This is definitely taking a turn. This is a first in the Lasagna Show history. So, please put your children to bed because it might get a little crazy here. But in all seriousness, Ben Rice, fantastic. Aaron Judge, I mean, it's sad to say that we're jaded by this because we just see it so often. It's hard to take a step back and really digest what we're watching with Aaron Judge, because the numbers are gaudy. Like it's video. You can't even do this stuff on a video game. Like you can't call it video game stuff anymore because this is hard to do on a video game too. This is not easy at any level, any virtual reality, any real reality. This is not easy. He's hit 400 in 181 at bats. It's not a ton. He's got 16 homers, 43 RBIs, and 1253 OPS. And I think, I don't know if it was FanDuel or one of these betting sites, but they had Aaron Judge the far and away leader right now to win another MVP. So, knock on wood, fingers crossed. If he, just stays on the field, he's going to win another MVP. And he should have had one over Altuve. I don't remember. Was it 2017-ish? One of those years. So I mean, the guy's going to have 5, 6, 7 MVPs by the time it's all over. He's putting together numbers that are just crazy. And it's a little unfortunate that he got a late start in his career. He went to college and all that kind of stuff. So, he's only going to get that one big contract that he got because at the end of this thing, he's going to be 40. So, he's got 331 homers for his career, and he could have easily hit 500, 600, maybe even 700 if he started younger. So it's pretty crazy to watch. But just sometimes take a seat and kind of enjoy what you're watching with Aaron Judge because we'll probably never see another homegrown Yankee that was drafted by them do what he's doing for the rest of our lives. So definitely soak it in. Paul Goldschmidt, another hit. He's hitting 339, which is crazy. The guy's hit 339. 878 OPS. So the LPS is dipping a little bit, but the average is still good. So you know what? Keep rolling. Grisham, 960 OPS. Bellinger, all the way up to 783 on his OPS. That is absolutely insane because a couple of weeks ago, Bellinger's OPS was in the 5s. So in 2 weeks to take a 5-something OPS and make it a 783 like that, average went from the low 200s to 258, 260. So, I mean, he's done a lot of good for the team, but he's doing a lot of good for himself because the overall numbers look fantastic and much improved from the slow start that he had. Volpe, that average in the OPS is ticking down, man. 1 for 4 today with the blooper, but his OPS was around 780, 770. It's down to 745. The average is down to 235. So Volpe looks like the mid-season summertime slump where his good start, kind of craters. Maybe it started a little early this year. And when it comes to the Volpe stuff, too many people get so, caught up in all the, he's got a cute smile and he's a team player and he's homegrown and this and that. And he's from Jersey. He likes chicken parm. He's friends with Austin Wells. We get it. He met Derek Jeter when he was a little kid. He grew up a Yankee fan. It's a cute story. But for what the guy was projected to be, he hasn't been what everyone expected. He hasn't even, kind of reached what everyone thought he would be. based on the tape that we saw when he was in the minors, driving the ball the other way, hitting a bunch of homers and stuff like that. He's not stealing a bunch of bases because he's not getting on base as much. So, this is a big season for Anthony Volpe, because if he has another sub 700 OPS by the end of this season, that's 3 straight to start his career, and you start to wonder if he's the guy. His defense is a little bit down this year, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Volpe situation plays out. But he's still young. I think he's 24. His numbers are pretty good for now. If he finishes the season with a 700 OPS, I would be shocked, and I'd be very happy about it. So we'll see how the roller coaster Volpe experience goes. But I wouldn't say there's a lot of pressure on him, but there's a lot of expectations for him to become what everyone thought he was going to be this season, because people are losing a little bit of patience with him. But he's still under team control. He's going to be around for a while, so it doesn't mean anything. He's going to be around. Scrolling up a little bit here, some of the comments I missed. John says Benny Bombs is cooking. Ness says, I want to see Judge go ham in the playoffs. I'm begging. I need it so bad. John says, I wasn't excited to get Goldie, but geez, his game has been all around awesome. It absolutely has. I wasn't excited either, but he's proved all of us wrong, and he's been, one of the best hitters in the American League so far. So I'm so excited to see that. I was a big fan of Paul Goldfish. I'm going to keep saying that. It's going to be a household name, Paul Goldfish in New York somewhere, because I'm going to keep saying it. But he was a Dodger killer. Paul Goldschmidt on the Diamondbacks. I would go to Dodger games when the Diamondbacks were in town. I would watch it on TV. I think in his career, in like 130 games, he has like 30-something homers. He's hitting like 280, 300, whatever. Paul Goldfish used to kill the Dodgers, and he was a very productive fantasy player, too. I had him for a few years. So I've always had admiration for Paul Goldfish. I just thought last year the first half of his season was kind of rough. I didn't know if he was washed up. I didn't want another Josh Donaldson situation, but he's been a pleasant surprise, and it's been fun to watch. So I hope it carries over, and he continues to crush the Dodgers as we make our way into LA at the end of this month. So that'll be fun to watch. Tina says Austin Wells is struggling. Yeah, he is. I would like to see him start picking it back up. I think he's got a lot more potential than what he's shown. So definitely something to watch there. Ness says 339 at 39 is crazy from Paul Bunyan. How old is he? Is he 38? How old is he? Paul Goldfish is 37. So, he's a little bit younger than you might think there. All right. You can't push him that close to 40 already. Volpe just needs a day off to eat chicken parm. He does a lot more than a day off in chicken parm, I'll tell you that. But Luis Hill on the Hill says, as a player comparison, I think he's comparable to Dansby Swanson. Speaking of Volpe, when he first came up, Dansby had some really good years in there when he was a Brave. So I think that is a little bit of a lofty comparison, because Volpe, he's got a lot to prove. The Yankees passed on a lot of good players and signings and trades and stuff to keep Volpe and give him this free run as the next Yankee shortstop. So we're waiting for the big moment from him. I mean, he did have a grand slam in the playoffs, but can we please be honest? Once we were down 0-3 in the World Series, the series was over. So all this shit after that is just, it's a side note. It's a nice little number in the box score, because the Yankees weren't winning 4 straight. So after going down 0-3, after you lost both in LA and then you laid an egg the first game in New York, it was over. So the grand slam was nice, but I'd like to see a 700 OPS over the course of this season, so we can start seeing him. Because obviously the playoff success is nice, but he's got to prove that he's a above average player in the regular season. For the remainder of his career. He's 24. You expect him to be around for a while. You don't want a guy who's going to be a 600-ish OPS and hitting 230 from your big time shortstop. So that's like Andrelton Simmons. I think Andrelton Simmons was even better than that. So we just want to. We're hard on Volpe because he was very hyped. The Yankees passed on a lot of good players, and we want to see Volpe do well. So obviously we're rooting for the guy. We want to see him hit, and that's all there is to it. Peraza, man, the guy can't hit for shit. I'm sorry. I mean, he's running out of time to prove himself. I think as soon as Jazz comes back, it's going to be Jazz and DJ, and Peraza will be back to the bench. He's a great defender, but the guy cannot hit for shit. It's tough to watch, because I had some high hopes for him as well. Chris says Wells low-key calls a good game for his pitchers. He does. He really does. And when Wells was in the minors, he was projected as a guy that might have to move to first base because they weren't very fond of his defensive skill, his framing, his blocking. He has a good arm, but, a lot of those a lot of those, secondary kind of skills you want in your catcher, they weren't very fond of Austin Wells with, but he's proven that he can do the job defensively, and he's been better than expected. So his OPS on the season is still 727, which is not bad. His average is down to 204, so we would like to see him, hitting some more balls and play and finding some more gaps. So, something to watch for Austin Wells. They dropped him down to 8th in the lineup, so it's going to be one of those things where he's going to have to figure it out at the bottom of the order. I think it's lower leverage for him, which is nice. There were times where they had him in the middle of the order, which is, a lot of pressure on the guys. But we got to remember, this is Austin Wells' first full season as the main catcher. So there's going to be growing pains. It's a long haul. It's a long season. A lot of wear and tear on the catcher. You got to worry about the pitching staff plus your own work in terms of a hitter. So, we'll see how it goes for Wells. I think he's got more potential than he's shown. I don't think he's a 204 hitter going forward. So looking for him to come out of this thing and, go on a run like Bellinger did. I think it's definitely in there for him. But real quick, guys, if you're watching on Twitter, please go to my Twitter page, click the link in my bio, like this video, and subscribe to the Lasagna Show. We will be doing Monday through Thursday post games throughout the rest of the season. Sometimes there might be a Friday or a Saturday in there, depending on what's going on. I work weekends and stuff, so it's a little hard at times, but we're going to keep running this thing through the rest of the season, having some fun, talking baseball, and I'd love to have you guys here for it. So with that said, very exciting game. Yankees win 5-2. Tomorrow we have Jacob deGrom on the hill for the Rangers. Tough, man. 2.29 ERA. His velo is a little bit down this season, but he's hitting the spots. His changing speeds. The stuff is still really, really good. So it's going to be a good test for this offense. And he is not a stranger to New York at all, pitching in the Bronx, pitching in Queens, New York media, New York spotlight. So he's definitely used to that, and we'll see how it plays out. Ryan Yarbrough on the hill for the Yankees. So we got another, solid mid-level starter. Will Warren was that today, and he looked fantastic. I expect Yarbrough to do the same, go out there, keep the ball down, change speeds, get those hitters out front, and enjoy some of that, quick. He's not a guy that's going to chase strikeouts, so he's going to work quick. He's going to put the ball in the zone. He's going to force hitters to get themselves out. We were talking earlier about either be above hitting speed or be below hitting speed. Yarbrough is below hitting speed. He's a comfortable 0 for 4. That's what you would call it. You're standing in the batter's box. You're not afraid of anything he throws. You're just trying to barrel something, and then you go. The game ends, and you look at the box score, and you're 0 for 4. You popped up a few times and hit a few ground balls, and it's like, damn, I should have hit him. He throws soft. Like, how did I not hit him? But it's one of those things. If you can change speeds, if you can keep the ball down, hit your spots, it's going to be one of those situations where you can stay in the big leagues even when you don't throw that hard. So that's why Ryan Yarbrough's around still. He's got a 3.70 ERA. So he's doing his job. He's doing his thing, and he's kind of graduated from that middle relief role, bridge the gap after a bad start or a mop-up role to now he's a starter. So definitely encouraging. Yankees are 28-19, looking to go 10 games over 500, so that's fantastic. Build that lead in the AL East and continue to be one of the best teams in the American League. Real quick, Bernard says, excellent, Johnny, and thank you so much for your support. You were the best. Love seeing you in here as always. Ness says Williams called his pitches all year. I'm not 100% sure. I remember hearing something about that, but I'm not 100% sure. Chris says, good stuff as always. Hopefully I'll catch you next time in the Bronx. Thank you so much, Chris. I remember seeing you last time. It's been a while. I might make my way out there maybe sometime this summer. It depends on work. Some different stuff going on, but I'll try to get out there this summer before the playoffs. And if they go deep in the playoffs, I would come up for the ALCS if that happens, if we're lucky enough to, watch another great series late into October. So definitely we'll try that. John says, nice job tonight. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being in there and being consistent. Love seeing your comments and seeing you guys add your guys' 2 cents and add to the conversation. It definitely is fun for me, and it's fun seeing you guys talk ball and interacting with each other and having a good post-game show, which we all want. So once again, thank you guys for watching tonight. We'll be back tomorrow after the game. If you're watching on Twitter, go to my Twitter page, click the blue link in my bio, like this video, subscribe to the Lasagna Show, and let's have some fun this year. All right, guys, Yankees win. That was fantastic. I will see you guys tomorrow after the game, same time, and have a great rest of your night.